Hello everyone. Today we're going to go over how to upgrade the Amidst the Ashen's Crusade mission pack up for 10th edition, including the upgrade trees and the agendas and the stratagems, so that you can have a few more missions that you can play for Crusade in the new edition of 10th edition. So I hope you enjoy this video. Now in this mission pack, you'll find 2 additional requisition trees and special abilities that you can give. The first one is the Awakening of the Strong that deals with vehicles and it upgrades. The requisitions are as is. However, the upgrade tree we've had to make a few changes. So on the second tier, Inspiring is now friendly infantry within 6 inches of this unit at +2 to battle shock tests. And the other one we have is Indomitable Defense. This unit that has that gains +3 to OC. And then we have Close Range Precision. Unit is +1 to hit when firing at units in engagement range. And that does it for the upgrade tree for the Awakening of the Strong for this mission pack. The other mission pack upgrade tree is for Psychers, and it's known as Corruption of the Weak. The requisitions work the same, the upgrade tree works the same. However, quite a bit of work has had to be done with the psychic abilities and the psychic tree. So at level 1, Whispers of Despair now adds +1 to the leadership characteristic of enemy units when they are within 12 inches of this model. Murmurs of Despair. At the start of the fight phase, an enemy unit within 6 inches of this model loses the fight first ability. In other words, even though they charge, they don't get the fight first if they're within 6 inches of the Psyker character with this. Now, Aura of Restlessness and Warp Emanations stay the same. They were able to. However, Aspect of Hopelessness, it's an battle-shocked enemy units within 6 inches must move away from enemy models. So if you're within 6 inches of an enemy unit that is battle-shocked, has failed it, is no longer AC, as soon as they are able to, they have to move away from you and other enemy units. Finally, at level 3, you have 4 new psychic powers. We've had to rework those. So the first one is Wayne Resolve. We've now turned it into an aura. At the start of your turn, pick 1 enemy unit within 18 inches and force them to take a battle shock test. Devourer of Weakness is again an aura. At the start of your turn, select 1 enemy unit within 12 inches of that unit, and it must pass a leadership test or suffer D6 mortal wounds. In other words, if they roll and fail a leadership test, D6 mortal wounds. We then have Psychic Barrage. Again, it's an aura. Enemy units within 12 inches must pass a battle shock test to perform an action. That's all enemy units within 12 inches. You don't just pick one. Anything within 12 inches, if they're going to try to perform an action, need to make a battle shock test. And finally, we have Terrifying Inferno. Terrifying Inferno, it's an aura. Select 1 enemy unit within 18 inches and force a battle shock test. If the test is failed, inflict D3 mortal wounds. In addition, that unit is battle shocked. And that does it for the Corruption of the Weak, Corrupted Mind tree for this supplement. In addition, this supplement also has a number of stratagems. 6 stratagems. We've cleaned them up a bit. 3 of them are meant more for the corrupted minds, and 3 are for the awakened spirits on the machines. So the first one we're going to look at is Advanced Scouting. We've changed it to 1 CP. Use this stratagem in the opponent's shooting phase. Enemy Psyker within 24 inches of Corrupted Mind Psyker suffers a hazardous shot on a 1 or a 2 when they're shooting with a psychic weapon. So in other words, if your opponent is using a Witchfire power and is within 24 inches of your Corrupted Mind Psyker, their Witchfire power the shots they make in the shooting phase now, instead of just being hazardous on a 1, are now hazardous 1 and 2 when they're shooting. Deceitful Whispers has stayed the same. We just changed it to 1 CP. And then we have Dangerous Compact, 1 CP. Use this stratagem in the shooting phase. Any 6s to hit with a psychic shot gain sustained hits. It is also hazardous now on a 1 or a 2. Must be used on a Corrupted Mind Psyker you control. So basically, you have a Corrupted Mind Psyker, you're going to have him fire, say, the Infernal Gaze, which firepower, which is D6 shots. Well, for every 6, it's sustained, so you gain an additional hit. However, any 1s and 2s are hazardous. The only other thing we've changed is, on the other side, Calculating Spirit. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase. When an awakened spirit vehicle unit from your army is selected to shoot, until the end of the phase, each time that model in that unit makes an attack that targets a unit within half range, if that awakened spirit unit remains stationary during its previous movement phase, add +1 to the attack's hit roll. And we just changed it to 1 CP. Now the agendas work out pretty good, with the exception of the Warpcraft agendas, because again, Psychic works very differently in this edition. Now, the first Warpcraft agenda we changed is Poison Their Minds. Poison Their Minds is now an action. One Psyker can perform this action in the shooting phase. In other words, they don't shoot, they instead perform this action. If it is within the opponent's deployment zone and 12 inches of an objective. And what it does is, does that action, and the unit gains 2 experience points for every mark on their Poison Their Minds tally. So every time you do that, you get 2 XP. So there you go. If your Crusade force has the Warp Corruption note and the combined totals of all your units' Poison Their Mind tallies is 1 or 2, your Crusade force gains 1 corruption point. On a 3 or more, your Crusade force gains 2 corruption points, which are important for going up that tree. Now, the Witch Hunter agenda, we could remain the same. However, Lord of the Warp. So, add 1 to your Lord of the Warp tally each time a unit uses a successful psychic shooting attack or performs a psychic action. Unit that has the highest Lord of Warp tally gains 2 XP for the thing. If you have 2 units and they're tied, they'll just pick 1, and that unit gains 2 XP. Scry Battle Plans. So we've changed this one to, it's an action. 1 Psyker character from your army can perform this action in the shooting phase instead of shooting if it is within 18 inches of an enemy character. The Psyker gains 5 XP if Scry Battle Plans tally is at least 2. So it's a good way to up your ability to level up characters, especially psychic characters, using this. Now, Crusade missions in this mission pack are Combat Patrol, 500 points, 1 agenda. Incursion, 1,000 points, 2 agenda. Strike Force, 2,000 points, 3 agendas. Onslaught, 3,000 points, 4 agendas. Here is an example of one of the Combat Patrol missions, Hard Landing. It is basically a Black Hawk Down. You have a ship, it's crash landed, you're trying to get on out while the attacker in that is trying to wipe them out before they can do anything. Another fun incursion mission, turn out the lights, as you're basically trying to turn out the power and allow for better attack. You also get victor bonuses, including corruption points or awaken machinery. So, pretty nice. Strike Force mission, for example, orbital evacuation, which you could still tie into the Leviathan Crusade if you're doing that. Again, these missions do not have to be in the Caradon sector in the War of Rust. You can use them for other things as well. And that there is about it for converting over the Amidst the Ashes Crusade mission pack up to 10th edition. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please hit like and subscribe down below. Thank you very much for watching.